to Deep Sleep Stories. Thank you to everyone who's been listening. If these stories help you relax or fall asleep, a short review, comment, or sharing the podcast with someone who might benefit is a simple and meaningful way to support the show so that we may continue to offer it for free. Now, take a slow, gentle breath and let's begin tonight's story. Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories, a place where you're invited to rest, to breathe, and to let the gentle hush of evening carry you into tranquil slumber. As you settle in, allow each muscle in your body to loosen. Let your shoulders soften, letting go of the weight that's gathered there over the day. Permit your jaw to relax, your eyelids to grow heavier, and your breath to flow in long, soothing waves. Inhale the thought of comfort. Exhale any tension that's accumulated within your mind. Tonight you'll be guided into the serene world of the Azores, those volcanic isles resting in the twilight, known for lake-filled craters and mist-shrouded horizons, a floating dream off the coast of Portugal. This story will gently guide you across calm waters and lush landscapes, a soothing lullaby for both your senses and your spirit. Let the hush of the night wrap you in its arms and surrender to the slow, comforting rhythm of this journey. Breathe in and breathe out, noticing how each breath brings a wave of relaxation, preparing you to step into a gentle realm of nature and quiet reflection. In the heart of the Atlantic, an archipelago emerged long ago from ancient volcanic fury. Evenings here are calm and unhurried, as if time itself has decided to slow down. On one of these islands, soft breezes drift across crater lakes, rustling through the delicate leaves and flowers that adorn the hills. The day has grown quiet. The sky is painted with dusk's colors, wisps of lavender, gentle rose, and the faintest shades of gold. In this moment, everything feels suspended between the echo of daylight and the embrace of night. A traveler named Sophia, visiting these isles in search of calm, arrives at the edge of a deep crater. She stands upon a soft footpath where emerald grasses bend beneath her feet. The path circles a magnificent volcanic caldera descending toward a pristine lake whose surface mirrors the sky above. Shadows lengthen as twilight settles, yet there is no rush or hurry to the scene. Tiny waves lap against the lake's shore, a melodic, rhythmic hush that speaks of ancient stories carried on the breeze. Farther down the slope, a gentle cluster of hydrangeas catches the day's final glow. They bloom in abundant clusters of blue and lilac, reminiscent of the vast sky that surrounds them. All along the crater's rim, flowers of every hue peek out among the greenery. Their fragrance mingles with the ocean air that drifts in from beyond the island's edges, creating a tapestry of sweet and briny scents. Softly, the hum of distant insects rises, complementing the quiet hush of water and wind. Each small creature stirs at dusk, adding its voice to the gentle serenade of the land. Sophia takes a step closer to the crater's lip, noticing how the land slopes smoothly downward in a graceful curve. She imagines the aeons that formed this place, the once heaving lava that cooled into a basin, now cradling tranquil waters. Those waters reflect the silhouettes of rolling clouds, drifting so lazily they seem to be in a dream themselves. The sun's last light plays along the crater's rim, gilding the grasses and the wild flowers in a delicate shimmer. It feels as though the world is adorned in softness, from the gentle glow of the sky to the damp fragrance of moss clinging to ancient stone. A quiet path leads around the crater. As twilight deepens, the gentle traveler walks with measured steps, lulled by the hush of the hour. She gazes at tree ferns swaying along the slopes, their fronds dancing like whispering fans in a nighttime ballet. The air grows cooler here, sweet and light on her skin, carrying the faint perfume of nearby jasmine. Far below, the lake's soft ripples catch what remains of the setting sun's reflection, each ripple a silver line drawn upon the water. Up in the high canopy, a small bird coos in a lullaby-like refrain, inviting every ear to slow, every breath to deepen. The traveler, guided by curiosity, pauses to admire a scattering of volcanic rocks. They are smoothed into rounded shapes by centuries of wind and rain. The stone is cool to the touch, like a memory of ancient fires now resting in the arms of time. Sophia imagines how the land once roared and rumbled, forging these islands with molten energy. Now, that energy has dimmed to a gentle heartbeat, a steady pulse that warms the soil and nurtures the lush greenery. She can almost feel it beneath her feet, a distant, slow throbbing that reminds her the earth is alive and at peace. Further along, the path bends, offering a glimpse of another lake in a neighboring crater. Hidden by a thin veil of mist, it appears like a secret gem cradled by emerald hills. Each side of the crater is lined with tall, rustling grasses, and the traveler notices the way they lean together under the evening breeze, as if sharing whispered tales. The scene speaks softly of unity. Land, water, air, and every living thing engaged in a gentle dance. No one part overshadowing the other. Amid the shifting twilight, pastel reflections shimmer across the lakes. Colorful clouds, tinted violet and rose, drift lazily overhead, while an early moon edges closer to the horizon. The hush of twilight envelops everything. Even the slightest motions, an insect's flutter or a fish's gentle flip at the water's surface, appear slow, as though immersed in a dreamy pause before night fully claims the sky. From her vantage point, Sophia can see the lines of an old stone wall meandering across the hillside, a remnant from a time when local farmers sought to partition their land. The wall is covered in moss so soft and thick that it seems like velvet. Delicate patches of lichen in pale green and silver cling to the stones, forming abstract shapes that inspire daydreams of magical maps or hidden paths. Beyond the wall lies a copse of cedar trees, their needle-like leaves swaying in the gentle breeze, releasing the lightest hint of fresh, woodsy fragrance. As the evening deepens, lamplights flicker on in a distant village. These golden pinpoints glow between rolling hills, suggesting that life quietly goes on. Humble suppers, warm hearths, conversations carried on the hush of whispering. The houses in the village are quaint and painted in soft whites and blues, their roofs of terracotta tiles blending into the pastel palette of dusk. Even from afar, it is possible to sense the slow, unhurried life the villagers lead. Simple rhythms guided by sunrise and sunset, the shifting tides, and the easy flow of days. Drawn by the softly illuminated path, Sophia meanders closer to the village. The narrow road leading down is bordered by low stone walls and hedges brimming with lavender. The floral scent lingers in the evening air, merging with the light brine of sea salt carried on the breeze. Occasionally, a modest gate appears along the roadside, leading to small terraces where fruit trees grow, figs and citrus mostly, their leaves rustling gently in the twilight hush. Such trees, silhouetted against the sky, seem almost like guardians watching over the silent passers-by. The hush around her deepens, and soon the stars begin to reveal themselves in the sky's dome. The air is clear, the breeze gentle, as shimmering pinpricks of light appear overhead in a grand, slowly unfolding display. The moon, now higher, bathes the land in a silvery gleam that illuminates the rolling hills and the crater lakes with a subtle glow. Sophia stops to look upward, letting her gaze rest upon the constellations spread above like a tapestry. There is no rush. The moment is hers, shared with the quiet watchers of the night. Eventually she reaches a small fountain at the edge of the village. The fountain's water trickles in steady drops, reflecting the moonlight and creating a soft, musical patter. Nearby, a slender cat perches on a stone ledge. The cat's eyes, bright and reflective, watch the traveler with calm curiosity before it resumes grooming, unconcerned by her presence. The entire scene is one of acceptance and serenity, as though everything here understands that life unfolds at its own gentle pace. Sophia finds a bench beneath a jacaranda tree. Its blossoms have taken on a deeper shade in the twilight, almost blending with the darkening sky. She settles there to rest. From this vantage, she can see the village's lights flickering in the windows of whitewashed homes. Further down, a glimpse of the ocean shimmers faintly, the waves nearly indistinguishable from the starry canopy above. The salt-laced breeze offers a subtle reminder of how small this island is, a quiet speck in the vast Atlantic, while still containing wonders for the body and spirit to absorb. A distant bell chimes from a tiny chapel, signaling the passage of another hour. Rather than jarring the scene, the soft peal melds with the hush, a gentle note to mark the time into this realm of quiet. Along the cobblestone street, a lantern emits its warm glow, creating a circle of light that draws moths in slow, spiraling patterns. A gentle hush continues to blanket the land. Sound travels easily at night. The rustle of leaves, the gentle clop of hooves from a donkey in the distance, and the echo of water dripping from the fountain. Everything flows in a peaceful lullaby, each element contributing a note to the composition. Feeling drowsy contentment washing over her, Sophia rises and continues along the narrow street until she comes across an inviting guest house. The walls are adorned with creeping ivy and pots of geraniums that release a faint peppery scent into the cool air. She steps inside, greeted by warm lamplight and the quiet hospitality that abounds in these islands. Her footsteps are slow upon the wooden floor, each step bringing a gentle creak that resonates with the restful stillness around her. Before settling in for the night, she glances out a window that frames the crater lakes in the distance, the moonlight dancing across their surfaces like a silver lullaby. The sight offers a final note of beauty before slumber calls, and she dims her lamp to greet a night of deep, restorative dreams. In the early hours, as dawn approaches, the island rests in a hush so profound that time itself seems asleep. But soon, the slightest touch of morning light begins to warm the horizon. Very gradually, faint colors return to the landscape. Mist drifts across the lake, forming a delicate veil over the still waters. Wildflowers tremble in the early breeze, their petals glistening with dewdrops. A few birds stir, quietly testing their voices with tentative chirps. The day is on the cusp of awakening, yet it does so gently, allowing the retreating night to linger just a bit longer in the shadows. Unhurried, the sun lifts above the peaks, sending its first rays across the dark volcanic soil. The flowers stretch to meet the light. The crater lakes shimmer, revealing their layered hues. Blue near the shoreline, shifting to deep turquoise further out. Softly, the lakes reflect the sky's gentle pastel tones. The crater rims, blanketed in green, look like guardians ushering in a new day, their slopes rising gracefully in a protective arc. Down by the water, tiny schools of fish glide just beneath the surface, undisturbed by any commotion. Here, calm is the natural state, an unspoken harmony between land, water, and sky. A bit further down the path, a lone figure sits on a rock near the shore. It is Sophia, beginning her morning with a quiet moment. She dips her hand in the cool water and feels the easy ripple of life pulsing beneath the lake's surface. The air is still delicate with lingering mist, and the hush that envelops her is profound. She listens to the gentle trickle of water over the rocks and the soft swirl of tiny eddies near the shore. In that moment, the entire island seems to be offering a tender wake-up call, urging all creatures to rise slowly, to move gently into the day. After a time, Sophia leaves the crater lakes behind, traveling along an old cobblestone lane that leads her farther into the island's interior. Rolling pastures, dotted with grazing cows, stretch out on both sides. The cows, their ears twitching at the early insects, look content and unhurried. Thick hedges of hydrangea act as natural fences. These flowers seem impossibly vibrant in the morning light, their colors ranging from soft pink to vivid blue, each petal a tiny mirror of the sky's awakening hues. The path weaves past gentle slopes and wandering streams. Occasionally, Sophia pauses by a clear brook to watch the sunlight refract in trickling water. Moss carpets the stones along the edges, so lush it almost looks like velvet. Overhead, tall cedar and laurel trees provide patches of shifting shade. A hush, deep and comforting, remains. The only sounds are the distant chirp of birds and the rustling of leaves in the mild breeze. Gradually, the land begins to rise. The terrain shifts from rolling pasture to a more mountainous contour, revealing pockets of forest and sudden clearings that overlook the azure sea. Here and there, old rock walls wind up the inclines, often covered with tangled vines. Sophia stops at one such clearing, placing her palm against the stones. She can feel the warmth of the sun clinging to the rough surface, and for a moment, she imagines how life in the Azores has thrived through centuries of gentle routine. Such walls have witnessed countless sunrises and sunsets, silent observers of the island's secrets. Deeper into the interior, the traveler reaches another lake, cradled by tall crater walls. Lagoa de Fogo, a serene body that shimmers like a secret kept in the heart of the island. The air has its own hush here, as though the crater itself wishes to maintain absolute calm. Tall cliffs rise around the water, and on their slopes, thick vegetation tumbles in layered waves of green. The lake's surface is nearly mirror-like, reflecting both the drifting clouds and the silhouettes of birds that skim across the water in graceful arcs. Sophia finds a vantage point on a natural ledge partway down the crater. From here, the panorama fills her vision. The water below, the dramatic peaks that shape the horizon, and the infinite stretch of sky blending into the Atlantic. She sits, letting her gaze rest on the lake's gentle ripples. A sense of stillness envelops her, as though this moment has been preserved in eternity. The wind carries a faint floral scent from hidden blossoms, and occasionally she hears the soft buzz of a humming insect or the flap of a distant bird's wings. Time seems to lose meaning in the hush of this place. Hours pass like soothing breaths, each moment an opportunity to sink deeper into calm. Dappled sunlight moves across the crater as the day advances, casting shifting shadows on the water's surface. The lake transforms with the changing light, now a pale azure, now a deep marine blue, always reflecting the sky's gentle moods. In the hush, the traveler becomes aware of her own easy breathing, her heart beating in time with the quiet rhythms of the land. When she eventually leaves Lagoa de Fogo, the path leads toward a series of mountain trails. These tracks wind through patches of dense foliage, where ferns tower like tiny umbrellas, lining the mossy earth. Sunbeams filter through the canopy, creating soft patterns of light that dance on the ground. The hush here is accompanied by the faint gurgle of hidden springs. Each step is deliberate, made secure by thick, spongy layers of fallen leaves and the gentle cushion of moist soil. Emerging from the forest, Sophia sees a distant vantage that reveals the coastline. Beyond the lush slopes, the turquoise ocean spans outward, gleaming under the midday sun. Wisps of cloud cast gentle shadows on the water, drifting lazily in the breeze. Down near the shore, small crescents of volcanic sand glisten in black or dark gray, a quiet reminder of the region's fiery origins. She stands there, taking in the expanse of the Atlantic, letting the vastness calm her heart and mind. As the afternoon matures, a soft hush continues to cradle the island. Shadows grow longer, as though they too would like to rest. Eventually, Sophia's wanderings bring her to a peaceful coastal village. Here the houses are clustered on a gentle slope overlooking the sea, their walls painted in pastel tones that echo the day's slow descent into evening. The windows are framed in warm, inviting colors, and flower boxes bloom with bright geraniums. Narrow alleys twist between the homes, paved in smooth, time-worn stones. A handful of fishing boats bob at the harbor, their bright hulls mirrored by the still water. In this village, people move in sync with the unhurried pace of the islands. A small cafe sits by the water, offering a perfect vantage for the day's last light. Sophia settles at a table, sipping a simple infusion made from local herbs, a gentle concoction that warms her from within. There's something serenely timeless in this moment, as the slow hush of the ocean's whisper merges with the subdued murmur of village life. Children laugh softly in the distance, and elderly neighbors exchange leisurely greetings. The bright day is transforming into dusk again, painting the horizon in lilac, gold, and rose. An easy hush falls across the harbor as evening arrives. The setting sun briefly ignites the clouds in vivid color, then slips behind the horizon with a final blush. Lamp posts throughout the village flicker on, casting pools of gentle light on the cobblestone. The ocean's reflection grows more diffuse, and the tide's rolling hush seems to soften the entire world. Seabirds circle overhead a final time before settling, their silhouettes gliding against the streaks of lavender sky. Sophia strolls along the harbor's edge, feeling the breeze caress her cheeks. A few lanterns sway from the moorings of fishing boats, creating small halos on the water. The rhythmic motion of the waves against the pier is like a lullaby. Soft laughter floats from a nearby doorway, and a cat scampers across the path, vanishing into a quiet corner. All around, the air is filled with anticipation of night's peaceful rain. She wanders past the boats, noticing their hulls gently bumping against one another, like old friends murmuring secrets in the dark. A small path lined with pale stones leads away from the harbor. It ascends a gentle hill overlooking the water. Following this path, Sophia reaches a small lookout point, a final place of quiet reflection for the evening. There, on a wooden bench facing the sea, she settles once more, The stars have begun their nightly show, and the moon hovers low, its silver glow dancing upon the waves. For a moment, the entire scene merges in silence. The far-off hush of waves, the flicker of distant stars, and the lull of the breeze weaving through the pines. In the hush of that twilight, the island breathes with contentment. The crater lakes, hidden by distance, still shimmer softly. Villages nestle into the arms of night, windows aglow with gentle lamplight. The ocean too carries a subtle luminescence, as if it has absorbed the day's radiance and chosen to share it back in quiet, twinkling reflections. High above, constellations form timeless patterns, guardians of centuries of explorers who once sailed these waters. And there, within the hush of the Azores, time once more seems to slow until it's barely perceptible, allowing each sensation, each soft breath, each comforting heartbeat to echo through the land. Gradually, the gentle traveler makes her way back toward the guest house she found earlier, a welcoming haven nestled under the watchful eyes of ancient volcanic peaks. Lamp in hand, she follows the path lit by the moon and the occasional glow of village lights. The hush intensifies around her, as though the entire island is bidding her a reverent good night. Even the shadows on the path appear serene, flowing softly across the ground. Nearby shrubs rustle with the passing breeze, as if joining in a lullaby. Upon reaching the guest house door, she slips inside and ascends the narrow stairs to her quiet room. A window there opens onto a balcony, offering one final glimpse of the night sky. She stands for a moment, gazing at the stars. The hush draws closer. The bed is prepared with crisp, cool linens that carry a faint scent of lavender. Setting her lamp down, she closes her eyes and inhales deeply, letting the day's scenes float through her mind. The crater lakes shining at dawn, the stillness of midday forests, the hush of twilight at the harbor. These memories form a cushion for her thoughts, softening them until all that remains is quiet. With a final gentle sigh, she surrenders to the night's embrace. As the night progresses, the islands dream in silent accord. Clouds drift across the moon, weaving delicate patterns of light and shadow. Far below, the caldera lakes rest, still and reflective, only disturbed by the faint ripple of nocturnal life beneath the surface. The breezes hush the leaves, carrying the gentle lull of ocean currents inward. Stars gather overhead, a protective canopy that has watched countless nights pass in the Azores. An unspoken harmony radiates from the land, caressing every slumbering creature with a promise of renewal by dawn. All around the village, windows dim one by one as households slip into the realm of sleep. A few nocturnal insects carry on a tiny chorus, a gentle hum that soothes the air rather than disrupts it. In the fields, the cows rest in grassy meadows, lulled by the hush of the evening dew. The hydrangeas, pale under the moonlight, bow their heavy blooms. The ferns and mossy stones absorb the lingering warmth of the day, exhaling it into the cool darkness. A comforting hush expands, permeating even the shallow corners of every home, every meadow, and every lakeside path. Eventually, even that faint chorus of insects begins to fade. The night's stillness grows deeper, wrapping the island in a protective layer of calm. In her guest house room, Sophia drifts in the sweet expanse of restful dreams, her heartbeat synchronized with the slow pulse of the Azores. She is perfectly at peace, part of the quiet tapestry that blankets the volcanic isles. And as the final flicker of lamplight vanishes, a profound, enveloping darkness remains. A darkness that cradles and soothes, promising rebirth with each gentle dawn. Now, dear listener, let yourself sink into this same hush. Let each exhalation carry away the day's concerns. The sounds of the Azores fade into a lullaby of stillness, guiding your body and mind ever closer to rest. Feel how each breath becomes gentler, each thought quieter, until all that exists is the nurturing calm that surrounds you. Imagine the crater lakes at twilight, their waters reflecting a moonlit sky. Imagine the soft breeze rustling through hydrangeas, a lullaby of color and scent. Imagine the distant hush of the ocean waves calling you to drift deeper, deeper into serenity. Gently, you begin to release each bit of tension. Your head grows heavy on the pillow, your limbs relaxed and resting like stones along a calm shore. Each breath ushers in cool, restful air. Each exhalation carries away the busy fragments of the world. The hush becomes a blanket, draping over your shoulders and enfolding you in a warmth that speaks only of peace and safety. Here in the quiet of night, let the final traces of wakefulness dissolve. Each soft beat of your heart resonates with the tranquil energy of distant crater lakes. Each tender sigh echoes the lull of wind through the Azores. Relax now, drifting in the gentle darkness. Daylight will return in its own time, but for now, surrender to the soothing hush. Allow the soft glow of starlight to accompany you into sleep. Embrace the comforting rhythms of a place where volcanic craters cradle peaceful waters, and nightfall brings only ease and dreams of endless calm. You are safe, held by the whispering hush of nature and the promise that morning will bring renewal. Good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.